Welcome to the 45th Python tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be continuing on the second part of the string method series. So let's get straight into it. Let's move on to the next string method. Let's begin with the find method. This method searches for a substring inside your string and returns the index when it first appears. So we have a quote, the early bird catches the worm. Now, we want to store the index in a value known as index, and we want to find the word bird. So we put the name of the variable where the string is located, which is quote, dot find, the method, and we want to put our argument, which is bird, the word which we are looking for. So when we print index, it gives us 10. So, and if we count and check over here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The bird exactly starts at the 10th index. But what if you wanted to check something that is not part of the string? This is why we use the code.find fish. So fish is nowhere to be seen in the string. So normally it would result in an error. If you were indexing a range of numbers and you look for something, it'll always give you an index error when you go out of the bounds. But over here, it's quite simple. If something does not exist in the string, the find method just prints -1. So when we run this code, it shows us 10, referring to the starting point of bird, and -1, showing us that this part or the substring of the string does not exist. Next up, we have count. Ever wanted to know how many times a word or a letter appears in a string? This method is your way to go. So our sentence is equal to banana, banana, banana. And we want to see how many times the word banana has occurred in the sentence. So our sentence banana, banana, banana is stored in the variable sentence. So we keep the variable name sentence, the dot count method, and the argument, which is the word which we are looking for, or which is the word, to see how many occurrences have occurred based on that word. So we are banana, and we want to count banana. So of course the output will be 3. But this is not just for strings inside a string. This can also be used for characters. Let's say if you wanted to see how many times the letter A was repeated in the string. That's why you can use count with characters as well. So when you run this code, it shows us banana was there 3 times and count A was there 9 times. What if you want to update a string? Let's say you want to replace Java with Python. So this is where we'll use the replace method. The replace method swaps out all matches for a new value. So if you want to replace Java with Python, we'll just put text.replace Java comma Python, the method and the thing which you want to replace and what we want to replace it with. Now note, this doesn't just replace the first Java it sees. There's also Java over here after the full stop, and it'll replace both of them. So when you run the code, it doesn't just say I love Python, Java is great. It says I love Python, Python is great. So it splits all the occurrences of that particular thing which you want to replace. Now let's break a string into parts using the dot split method. Over here we have apple, banana, cherry. Now I want you to take a moment and observe this, the comma separating all of them. This will play a quite important role in the code to come. So the fruits is equal to the data.split. But inside the split, we see an argument of comma. So what does this comma exactly tell us? The comma tells us that this is where it wants to split. So everywhere it sees a comma, it'll split the list. And if you did not put anything, let's say if you just left it empty, it'll look for a white space. You'll try to separate the white space, but over here, to make it more specific, they're using the comma. So when we run this, it gives us apple, banana, cherry. But there's also another difference. Our initial input was a string, but our output was a list. The split turns a string into a list, with all its elements each getting their own index position. Now, let's try when it's empty. So we have this is Python as a sentence, and we want to split the sentence, but we don't know what to split it with. So we just left it empty, and now we print words. As we said before, its most default thing is to split at the white space. So wherever there was a white space, like a white space over here, white space over here, it just separated it. That's why we get the list when we run it. This is Python, each separated by the white space. Let's do a real world example. You get a messy line from a CSV file and you want to extract the name and fix its casing. So the record holds John Doe to be a person, his age to be 22, and his occupation to be a developer. So, but then this record is quite messy. Once again, there are spaces at the start, which we will use strip for, and we want to split it into three parts. Now, we have record, which holds all of this messy data, and we're going to clean it using the fields variable. So the fields variable stores the all the information about the person. And since we're using the split, it'll all be stored into a list. And once again, lists have indexes. So the fields list consists of John Doe, 22, and developer. Because note, this split was told to split at wherever there's a comma. So it does its job and it splits over there. Now we want to print the first name of this person. Therefore, we will put 0 because John Doe is stored as a 0th index. And we just don't want John Doe with all the letters small case, but we wanted at least the starting two letters to be uppercase. That's why I use the dot title, and when we run it, we get John Doe, proper, formatted, and looking good. So now that you know how you can use strings effectively, make sure to subscribe and like the video for part 3.